All right, welcome. We are here to do a play test of my Trophy Gold Incursion, Return to Welcome. So this is going to be set in modern times in a very strange little town. Inspirations for this incursion are Shadow over Innsmouth by H.P. Lovecraft, SCP 3300, the 1980 film The Fog, and the Desperation elements of the Desperation card game. And also again, it is designed for Trophy Gold, which is written by Jesse Ross and Hedge Maze and published by Hedge Maze Press. And we're just going to give this a shot. So, welcome. I am Mads, they, them pronouns. I have played and run a lot of Trophy, Dark, and Gold, and I have written some stuff for this game. And this is my first effort into writing something for Gold. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully, this particular incursion will appear in the next issue of the Sprigs and Kindling Community Zine. That will include a lot of trophy stuff in it. So we'll see again, like how this goes. So I'm going to have my wonderful players who have been so gracious in joining me for this journey to introduce themselves for this series. And I'm going to start with James, and then James, if you'll be so kind as to popcorn it over to another player, and so on and so forth. Okay?
Sure thing. So yeah, I'm James. My pronouns are he, him. I've played and written some stuff for both Trophy, Dark and Gold, and also hopefully for Sprigs and Kindling in the next issue. And I always love non-classical settings for Trophy in general, and I've always enjoyed Mads's take on those. So having a sort of, as I said in on Discord, a Mads original, that's very appealing, and it'd be great to play with you all. And I think I'll pass over to Kay.
Hi, I'm Kay. I use the she and they pronouns. I actually have no familiarity with Trophy Gold. I've never played it before. I've only played Trophy Dark, and I've only ever played single iteration games of it or one shots. And I played almost, I'm 99% sure all of them have been with Mads. So Mads is just like my intro to anything and everything Trophy. I figured it was a good idea to try it out as a long-term format, as well as additionally try out the other end. And who else better to trust than Mads with that? Uh, I will popcorn over to Nicolas.
Hi, my name is Nicolas. I'm pronounced he, him. Um, Regarding trophy, I played 3 or 4 times only trophy gold, never trophy dark. And I ran trophy gold 2 times. Never in campaign, always in one shots format. And that's it. And I will go to space.
Thanks, Nicholas. Yes, space, they, them, and I have just only one experience with, and it was Trophy Dark, an incursion that Matt's ran, and it was amazing. I was hooked. So here I am, and I assume I will be doing much more after that. And I will pass it to, oh goodness. I'm not gonna pronounce it right. I know it.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead. How do you say your name?
yeah. My name is João. I've played Trophy a couple times, both Gold and Dark. What else? I have played with some people who are here. I've played with um, Mad and with sorry, I can see. Okay, yeah, sorry. And yeah, my pronouns are he, him. And sorry, I got a bit lost here because I saw a thing that my internet was bad and I thought I was cutting out. So
Technology. So I mean, like it was a little bit of cutting out, but I mean, like we'll deal with it as it comes. So I mean, again, if like sound goes out or if something goes weirdly wrong, then please feel free and then like just come out of come out of immersion and just like say it out loud, please, because we won't know unless it happens. And if by any chance you see me disappear for whatever reason, wait 10 minutes, and if I don't come back, then obviously power has gone out, something has happened, and I will try to get back to you guys on Discord and let you know what's going on, okay? So, yeah, we'll deal with it as it comes. But thank you all again for joining me on this little journey for this playtest, and we're gonna go through a round of cats. Concept, aim, tone, and subject matter, of course, for Trophy Gold in general, and for this particular incursion specifically, and then going over safety, because we will have safety tools available for this game. Trophy in itself is kind of like a horror role-playing game, so we want to make sure that everybody feels comfortable and safe, regardless of the dread and the sinister atmosphere that can be felt as we go along. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and go through that, each of the things. So again, Trophy Gold is a game itself about desperate treasure hunters entering a forest or other haunted space that doesn't want them there in general. Aim for this particular incursion is that you're going to be playing disparate people heading to the town of Welcome for a special festival, but each with your own reasons to go and secrets that you're trying to hide. But you're also treasure hunters, motivated by a near impossible goal to seek out riches in a forgotten place of the world. You're not heroes, but you're entitled pillagers of some sort, there to secure your wants and needs. Your desperate state encourages you to take dangerous risks, and you'll often put yourself in harm's way to try and better your circumstances. The tone of Trophy Gold is risky and driven. You may encounter conflict or tension between treasure hunters, but more often you will be facing dangers from monsters or the environment itself. Subject matter. The game will be R-rated. Your treasure hunters are willing to make dangerous choices. The game will likely be violent, terrifying, and include scenes of bodily horror and loss of self-control. And basically any kind of subject matter or warnings will be mentioned in the safety tab, which we have lines and veils in, which I'll mention in a few minutes. And just like Trophy Dark, this gameplay is highly collaborative and improvisational. You all, as players, have a lot of say over the world itself and can introduce story elements that no one, not even me as the GM, was expecting. So play moves between the fiction and the metagame frequently, and it runs best when everyone feels comfortable offering up their ideas. Use a 6-sided dice of 2 colors, light and dark, to determine the outcome of risky actions. All right. So even though it's in a modern setting, there's still some elements of some kind of fantasy and horror that are going to be interwoven into this incursion. And with that, we need safety tools. So one of the safety tools that we're going to have available to you will, of course, be the X card. So if something comes up that is objectionable in an unfun way, or something becomes tonally off, like, we're in a particular mood, but then somebody mentions something that just does not fit, please feel free and either make an X in the video or say X card out loud or X in the chat, and then we will stop play, find out what needs to be X carded, taken out, and then we will continue play from there, okay? We will also have script change available to us, which includes tools such as pause. So if there's something that comes up that, again, comes up something like the X card, but we just kind of want to watch the possible topic of a question, then we're going to pause. Somebody can call pause on it, and then we'll discuss it offline. Like we'll pause the recording or what have you, and then the person who brought up the pause can resume when they feel comfortable that it's been discussed enough to continue onward. There's also fast forward. So if something doesn't necessarily need to be fully role played out, or we just want to do a time jump to like a different point of the story, then we can totally say fast forward. And there's also rewind. So if something happens, make a decision, like we play something out and we're like, ooh, I don't know about that. Maybe that's not where the direction we wanted to go in. Then you can decide to rewind and then go back to a particular moment in time and then try a different direction. So that's perfectly fine to do that in script change, okay? And then there's also open door policies. So if in play. Again, this is going to be done as a mini series. We're going to be doing this in a series of sessions, so about, I think, 4 to 6 sessions, depending on how this goes. If at any point you decide that this isn't quite the game for you, then perfectly perfectly okay to just say, hey, I'm going to take the open door, and you don't have to explain why. You could just tell me that, this is not the game for me, and you can take the open door out, and I won't ask you why, right? Or if you just simply need to step away because you have to go get your lunch over at the door, that's perfectly fine too. Just say when you're going to be coming back, whether after a few minutes or when the scene's over and all that kind of stuff. You can just totally use that tool as well. Step away when you need to. I mean, we're all adults. And finally, we have lines and veils. There is a safety tab in our character keeper, which has lines, things that we're marking off that won't be crossed, will not be part of the game whatsoever, and veils, things that may be present, may come up, but we're not going to fully role play them out or describe in any detail. We can fade to black on those particular things, so those will be marked as veils. In our particular character keeper, there's also a column for ask first. So if there's a topic that is marked ask first, then if we're sort of nearing that sort of thing, then it's perfectly fine to come out of the fiction and go, I'm going to mention this, or I'm going to start touching upon something that gets near this particular topic. Is that okay? So that's an example of an ask first. And then interest, of course, well, hey, things may come up, or things that you think would be interesting to come up in this particular game, or inherent in the incursion itself. Just be aware that this could be a column that can be marked as well. So things that you want to see or things that are inherent in the incursion, they will be marked in this particular column as part of the incursion. Okay? So those are the safety tools available to us all, myself included. And then we did, again, go over the concept, aim, tone, and subject matter for this incursion, this game. Setting expectations on the table. Does anybody have any questions whatsoever? No problem if you do, about any of that. Anything? No? Okay.
Nope.
Just want to be sure. So, let's see. We're going to build... They're labeled treasure hunters for trophy gold, but I mean, again, because it's a modern incursion, again, these are going to be... I think I'm going to refer to them as visitors for this particular incursion, so I got to make sure I note that for my playtest. But let me just see if everybody's finished. I believe everybody is finished in making their visitors to the town already, which is great. I think that's wonderful. Okay, perfect. Okay, so given this, I'm going to give the introduction to the incursion. And then I'm going to have you introduce, so far, what you've put down for your particular characters, okay? There's a town called Welcome, lost in the dry hills of this particular place. Nothing much is known, usually, about this town, except that there is an annual festival. And every year, the townsfolk gather for this festival to celebrate and propagate prosperity. What that means, no outsider knows, and no outsider has been able to find out. But when it comes right down to it, as the tagline says on the town sign, all are welcome. And all who come to the town around the time of the festival find out what that means, and means to them. Every trophy incursion, whether it be gold or dark, has a theme, and this theme is rain. There are many interested parties in the town of Welcome. Wanderers, curiosity seekers, fraudsters, maybe even those seeking a family or a home. And they come like metal to a magnet, moths to a flame, drawn in by the strangeness of the time of the town around this season, this festival. given that, let's be introduced to our particular characters before we enter into the first of the sets. Trophy Gold is, instead of rings like Trophy Dark, they are run by sets. And to get through a Trophy Gold incursion, you have to meet each set's particular goal. So, let's meet our characters. If that's okay with you, James, I'm going to start from left to right on the character keeper. So you're first up. Please introduce us to Claudia.
So Claudia's probably about mid-20s, and she wears a very large, sort of battered ex-military parka with a big hood and sort of bunched up, military style trousers and large boots. And she has a sort of very distinctive undercut, and she's got her sort of laptop bag slung over her shoulder, and she basically is a writer. I'm assuming like a web writer, some kind of blogger or vlogger or whatever. And she's here following a very specific mystery about what happened to her parents, and it's led her to the festival and to the town. And she has one ritual, which is that she can speak to anything inorganic, which I'm taking to mean a kind of an aptitude for the technological, the material, that sort of thing.
The beauty about the rituals in Trophy is that they're supposed to be vague enough that you can interpret them any way you like, but specific enough that kind of gives you an idea of how to interpret them. So hopefully that gives you enough to work with, especially in these modern times. I have to figure out a way to call them something else for this particular modern incursion, but that's okay. That's perfectly fine. All right. So, what does generally there's backpack equipment or whatever, but just for funsies, can you mention what's currently in Claudia's backpack or like her luggage right now?
Well, she has a pair of glasses, which are kind of computer glasses that she doesn't wear most of the time. A book of poems that can lower one ruin, which is battered and dog-eared. I'm thinking it's some kind of chapbook or anthology, and a multi-tool that she always has, and a very carefully concealed, potentially illegal taser, a very thick parka, and very steel-toed combat boots, also from a military surplus store.
Nice. All righty, fantastic. All right, Nicolas, please introduce us to Jensen.
Jensen is a guy in his 30s. He's very tall, 2 meters, thin, sick. He looks tired. He has a bird, but he doesn't care about it. And he's a journalist, freelance journalist. It's hard to get by, but he likes to dwell in the undergrounds vibes, the undergrounds communities, and he try to write stuff about story heard there. He likes the underground because he can hide inside it and use his former operative skills to it. He came to welcome because he has to find out what happened to his older brother, who, as far as he knows, also came to welcome last year.
Going to ask further questions later, but just out of curiosity, did your brother come for personal reasons to welcome, or do you know if he was also an operative of the same organization?
He wasn't. He was just a farmer from Oklahoma.
Okay.
And I don't even know why he came.
Got it. Okay. All right. Kay, please introduce us to Tal.
Yeah, so I am playing Tal Overton. He's probably like early mid-30s. He is an agent with a background as an escaped cult member, so this is actually not his first time, I think, in Welcome, if that's acceptable, Mads. But I think it's his first time back in a long time. He has the ability to see things, which perhaps comes from that time. And no, I'm not going to explain that, and neither will he. Uh, in his very fun bag, there's a toolbox, probably useful, a sketchbook, interesting, and divorce papers. So, that's fun. He wears tactical gloves, a suit, and carries a handgun that is definitely permitted, but is that a real permit? Questionable, but it does seem to be permitted. He's tall, leggy, dark hair, bit of a 5 o'clock shadow, green eyes. And he's here to take his rightful inheritance, whatever that means.
Can't wait to find out. Yeah. Okay. I apologize. João?
Oh yeah, sorry. I think that part cut. You can just call me Joe.
Joe.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Joe, please introduce us to Cole.
Yeah. So Cole, he is ex-military, got some trauma, maybe all the way to PTSD from it, and works as a doctor. He has come to welcome to research the historical and genealogical records in the town because he has found some weird stuff going on related to it. He has the general skills you'd expect from someone with his background for like examination, surgery, stuff like that. And he has a knack for like repairing stuff, just fixing things. He's brought with him a survival guide, some socks, a lucky token that he carries with him since his days in the army, and he wears a tactical vest and a butterfly knife.
And you don't even have to mention this now, and you can take some time to think about it. But I'd be interested to know what this lucky token is,
Mm-hmm.
and um, uh, why does he consider it lucky?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I mean, again, you don't
have
have to think about it now. If you want to
right.
kind of consider this for a little bit.
I do have something in mind, which would
Okay.
be just like a um deformed coin
Oh. Okay.
that uh partially stop the bullet. A coin is not enough to stop a bullet, but if the bullet was already for some reason like shot from very far away, was
Mhm.
already ricocheting, and so he, after surviving because of the coin, he's like, okay, this is my lucky coin.
Yeah. I mean, anything that could possibly help deflect or to stop the trajectory or the velocity. Yeah, I mean, you're golden. So I don't blame Cole thinking that for any bit. Sure. And Space, please tell us about Raven.
Thanks. Yes, Raven Sloane, she, her, also in her 30s, probably late 30s, I would say. An artist, more of a performance artist than a visual artist, but kind of multimedia. Um, Orphaned scientist. So, and her sort of goal here in Welcome is to figure out where she came from. So she doesn't know much about her background, like, who are her actual blood relatives and all of that. And there's reasons for her to believe that something in Welcome will help figure out those answers. Um, and then she has this ability to cause vibrations. in and around in a small area around her. I'm gonna go with it's localized to near her. It's not like projected farther away. If that's all right, Matt.
That's perfectly fine. But again, you can change this, adjust this, interpret in any way you like. Because I'm always interested to see how people interpret rituals. Like when we get into it. So,
I
sure.
look forward to that. And in her backpack, I mean, I don't know if it would be in her back. There's a necklace, with a pendant that has some inspirational sort of context for her. I don't know if it does for anyone else, but that's the idea. Um, and so you probably aren't going to see that necessarily unless there might be a reason, but I think she probably is wearing it, but it's tucked in. Um, she has climbing gloves and pepper spray, so watch out. Um, she wears around her neck a woven shawl, very like multicolored rainbow kind of thing. And she does have a tactical vest also, but hers, whereas I assume Cole's is on the outside, hers is going to be underneath, some sort of fashionable looking top or sweater, actually probably a sweater. And she also has a cane. And we can discuss why she has a cane now or at some later point in time.
Absolutely, for
How you
sure.
want it. Yeah.
Yep. And because of the way I built the drives, and I have to figure out a way to try and work this in, but because of the way I built the drives, feel free and you can discuss among yourselves. It's like if you think that your characters might have met or have known each other, to either help each other out or like suspect something of each other, to find connection with your particular missions. I say that loosely, missions in Welcome, right? So I mean, like, again, this can be collaborative, but this can also be an interesting mystery for yourselves as well. Exactly. So as we enter into the beginning, which is the prologue, this will be different than any other Gold game for those of you that are familiar with Gold. Each occupation, okay, so, all right. So generally with Gold, again, as I said, it runs in sets. Each set has a particular goal. In this one, Prologue is going to be run differently. Each occupation gets a prologue scene, short role play, or a narrative, and I will leave it up to you the player, for your particular occupation, how you want to do that. Again, short role play or a narrative, okay? And the other players and I will act as the NPCs or monsters, whatever, in the scene, okay? Depending on what it is. And feel free, as always with any trophy game, to try and tie in the drive that you see there to help each other out to make the role play, the future role play, especially juicy. So let's start with, let's see, I'm going to start with right to left this time. Raven, you've been going through an artistic slump. This is the prologue. You've been going through an artistic slump, and your agent and your gallery has ordered you to take some time to refresh and create new work. What is it about your aunt's home, where you will be staying in Welcome after she passed, is inspiring and also terrifying?
Yeah. Aunt Claudia and I weren't close, you know. Maybe every once in a while, a holiday card, that sort of thing, right? And this was always frustrating to me because I wanted to know who she was. I would ask her questions, she wouldn't answer them. Um, but now that she's passed and there's, some sort of oh, legal paperwork and this, that, and there are things that need to be taken care of and sorted out. And I'm curious to see what's there. I'm curious to see uh who, if I can figure out who she was, if she knows anything, maybe she has photo albums, genealogy charts. I don't know, anything. A lot of my work is about identity, you know, and memory and the loss of memory, the loss of identity. And so I'm really curious to see how my time in Welcome influences my work. So, as for terrifying, listen, how could it not be? What could I find out? Maybe I could find out she was a serial killer. Goodness, could be anything.
That's interesting. That's one of the first thoughts that came into your head. What gave that possible impression?
I don't know. It was something about, it's one of those things where you can't. It's a vibe, right? The one time I met her at a family reunion, she was always kind of the quirky one, the quirky aunt, right? But not the fun quirky aunt, just the one who was like dressed a little bit askew from everybody else, and you know, maybe making comments that were really offensive, but in a way that like maybe she didn't know what she was saying, that kind of thing. And I don't know, there was just something about whenever she talked about the past, she got real cagey about it. You know what I'm saying? And she would make these jokes, anytime somebody annoyed her, like, oh, well, like, some sort of like vaguely murderous joke. And I just never knew if she was serious. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Just the way that she said things, the way that she talked, and the way that she would look at you too long, just a few seconds too long. So I don't know.
But then
No concrete
she,
evidence.
but she left you. She left you the house. What is
Yeah,
it about her that she didn't refer those murderous comments to you?
yeah. See, that's the funny thing. I don't know. Um, I don't know. Like I said, she wouldn't tell me much. So for her to leave me the house is just came out of left field. When that lawyer contacted me, I was like, "Excuse me? What do you mean?" Not only that, but my goodness, what am I gonna do with a house in Welcome of all places? Anyhow, yeah.
Did she mention anything about, or did she ever ask you about your former work as a scientist?
Mm, no, she didn't ask. What she did, she would tell me that scientists are cursed. And I was like, what does that mean? And she said, don't worry about it. You'll find out soon enough. That's what she said to me. And this was, you know, at the time I didn't think much of it. I'm like, oh, here she goes saying something weird again.
And then she died.
And then she died. Yes, exactly. She had the nerve to die before she could give me any sort of concrete information.
Does anybody else have any question or questions that they want to ask Raven? This is out of character, of course.
What science were you pursuing?
Medicinal chemistry.
Very cool.
Yeah, yeah. I don't usually tell people this, but I usually say with a wink, I was in pharmaceuticals, not those kind of pharmaceuticals, legit pharmaceuticals.
Where more or less would you say is the home that you're staying? Like, in the sense of, is it very central to the town? Is it more,
Mm,
isolated?
mm. From what I understand, it's on the outskirts of the town. I don't. I would be surprised to find out if she had some sort of big social life, but who knows? But definitely, I was not surprised to learn that it was on the outskirts of town because, you know, of how eccentric she is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of piece of art that she left prominently in the house.
What kind of art is in the house?
Yes, one piece she left before passing out, and
Yeah.
The lawyer
I
would have
was
shown you a picture of it.
told for yes, I believe it's a Kandinsky. I don't remember the name of it, but I do remember that part. What does it look like? It's the one with the. It's mostly white, and then there's a lot of symbols and lines, and kind of looks like a record off to the top left. It's composition 8.
Why does that have meaning for you?
The Kandinsky? Well, I'm very interested in abstraction in general, you know, but I'm specifically interested in how abstraction and geometric forms intersect with each other, you know. Because there's the abstraction that's more amorphous, shapes that kind of meld into other shapes, but when you keep it more geometric, it gives structure to the chaos. And that's something I've always been seeking in my own life.
Structure to chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
I think I have one because I was just looking at color and contrast as skills. Is there one element in the house, like the Kandinsky is like a work with multiple elements? Is there something that stands out jarringly or disturbingly because it's a different color, or there's just something weird about it? Some object that every time you look at it, you just feel like a great deal of unease.
Yeah, the lawyer would have probably shown you pictures of the interior and the exterior of the house, which is why you know that it's on the outskirts of town.
Oh, I see. Yes, that's true. And there's one room. I think it's a is it a finished basement? Does it have basement? I think it might be. I think it's a partially finished basement. That's what it was. And there's this little room. It's unclear what its purpose was, but it's all black. And that one, I would be lying if I didn't admit that it freaks me out a little.
You'll just have to find out now, won't you?
Yes, indeed.
All right. So,
All right.
next, Joe. Cole. Doctor. You had examined the remaining effects from a car crash. When I say effects, like pieces, sorry, like the things from the car, things from the people and all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, you had examined the remaining effects from a crashed car discovered not far from Welcome's town limits a year ago. What did you discover among the effects that reminds you about the anniversary of the town's upcoming festival?
I think there was some kind of small idol, a small symbol like an effigy that the person was taking, and that I know that they have those effigies during the festival. I'm not sure if they burn them, if they put them in water, or what they do, but yeah, that's what I saw.
Do you remember what it looked like, or do you remember seeing the picture before the effigy mysteriously disappeared?
Yeah, so let's think what it looks like. I'll say that it changes a bit from person to person how they make it, but it always involves like a person with a bell in their hand. Yeah.
And how did that make you feel, seeing that particular effigy? Is that what started you on to looking at the records, or were you already thinking about looking at the records before that?
I think I was already thinking of looking at the records. But the effigy, as it was weird, and just like this festival, it's not similar to anything that happens around. It is something very specific to this town, and I think it just added to this notion of there is something off here. It it doesn't follow what happened to the other towns. The way immigration and founding and all that, like you would expect festivals to be something that's common to things around a specific town, but this one is only present there.
Any other questions for the doctor?
How long has it been since you've been out of the military?
I'll say 5 years.
Were you?
And what? Oh, go for it.
I wasn't sure whether your question was going to be the same as mine, but I mean, like, was it?
The branch.
Well, actually, I was going to say, like, was it honorable discharge, and was it because of your trauma?
Yeah, I'll go with honorable discharge, and yeah, I think he just completed his service and was allowed back. But by the end, it was already hard to keep working. Like
What branch of the military were you in?
now I'll admit I don't know a lot about how the military works, but would saying something like the Air Force make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. That's a perfect answer.
What about the idol you found reminded you about an overseas trip you made with the army?
I think I have seen other festivals that involve like everyone on the town creating effigies. But generally speaking, the effigies tend to be more uniform and less off-putting than the ones in the town.
Any other questions for Dr. Hackett?
Yeah, I was wondering, was there anything unusual besides the idol that you noticed in terms of the car crash?
I think the body didn't seem to be damaged in the normal way. Given work as a military doctor and all that there is some experience with just a tacit understanding of how bodies get hurt, and in this one it it wasn't how it normally happens with humans.
Okay.
There was a reported 4 people that were supposed to be in the car, but they only found 2. Do you have any speculation? I mean, unofficial speculation about what happened to the other 2 bodies?
So the report was that 4 people were in the car when before the accident happened.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Found
at the crash site. Let's be more specific. Found at the crash site, but then, when you finally got to a chance to examine the remaining effects / possibly the report, you saw that there was only 2 bodies found.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll say that initially he thinks that it may have been kind of a hit job, and so people are like covering up the death of those other 2. So that's why they have removed a lot of the things that would be on the report.
Any other questions? Okay. For Tal, you were briefed on the anomalous event that occurred last year, and you are one of those tasked to go undercover and find missing persons from the crash. Do you personally know any of the people reported missing? If so, how? And if not, why is this particular mission important to your promotion?
I think I don't necessarily know anyone from the crash, but I know Welcome. And I think it's important for my promotion in the sense that this is the ultimate show and test of allegiance, is going into Welcome and, possibly getting people of Welcome in trouble or exposing something at the cost of Welcome for the agency's, own good or figuring out or authority. Sort of a final, like, which side you standing on, kid.
Got it. Okay. Any other questions?
What's the agency you work for?
What country, or is this like, because like before I start, I guess, like, let's go with like a some kind of CIA FBI equivalent. Is the agency. We can come up with our own, or we can use those initials.
It is up to you. You can make up anything you want, because evidently it's like the drives I created give a lot of leeway for whatever you want.
Yeah, so I think it's some kind of FBI, CIA, or let me rephrase. I like this answer. As far as Tal is aware, it is a sort of CIA, FBI agency. Have fun, Mads. Yeah, it's gonna call it TLA.
I have a question actually. Given Tal knows Welcome, who in Welcome is most likely, given you have to be subtle about it, who is the most likely to derail your investigation?
I think it's got to be the members of the order that I was involved with. I think Tal left at like a 17, 18 kind of age, so it's been about like 15 kind of years. So enough time that, he's got a beard now, he's a little older, so but people who knew him, who grew, he grew up in that town, will recognize him. So I imagine, anyone who's 20 or younger, the young crowd doesn't really recognize him, but any kind of like elders or anyone who was particularly involved in the festival religion-esque scene may be like, huh, you look kind of familiar. Also, maybe the ex he's come to give divorce papers to.
So you're taking the papers to the ex, or you've signed them and then you're just dropping them off. In other words, who asked for the divorce?
I think I'm bringing them. I think I have not seen this person that I was married to in like 15, 16 years.
Ooh.
We were 17 or 18 or something when we got married. We were part of this cult. And
It was a time.
yeah. Or at least Tal hasn't seen them in 15 or 16 years. Who knows if they've seen Tal? I'm not going to take control away from Mads. Have fun. So yeah, Tal is bringing the paperwork that they've gotten together. They finally, like, this is again for like promotion. It's like, hey, I'm putting this divorce through. I'm working this case here on the side of TLA, not as someone from Welcome. Like, this is meant to be like the separation kind of.
Aren't you worried about them making you, though? I mean, like, giving you away? You escaped.
I was a child then. I am a trained agent now. If they think they're taking me back against my will, they've got another thing coming.
Okay, then.
Well, that answers the other question I was going to ask, which is just do you believe yourself to be intimidating?
Oh yeah, he definitely does. I also think Tal Overton, not his name when he lived there.
Mm-hmm.
How much does the agency knows about your former past from the cult?
I think they know everything. I think he has spent a lot of time in a job mandated psychiatrist chair. Uh, and he personally doesn't want to remember it or things. And in fact, there's some things he doesn't like. I imagine he's definitely done those sessions where they're like, you lay back on the couch and you close their eyes, they like ring a bell and like get you to like try to remember things. Like, because a lot of it is a wash from trauma.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Oh, there'll be more questions later, of course, but, you know, it is what it is right now. All right, so Jensen, let's see, what delicious thing did you get? Your long-distance colleague emailed an article about this strange town with a weird reputation and the distinctive car crash that occurred outside of it. What do you find out about this particular story that makes it urgent you need to investigate this before the town's upcoming festival?
I think I find out that the car belonged to my older brother, but he wasn't reported as one of the casualties. And walking around my circles, I found out also that that particular car crash brought many attentions from specific agencies and such, and that's something I need to put my nose.
Any questions?
I have a clarifying question. You mentioned your brother was not one of the casualties. Was he still one of the four that was seen in the car? Or was that like wholly like four different people in his car? Or was he just not one of the two bodies?
I think I don't know that, but
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
So he's definitely not one of the two dead, but he could have been
yes,
one of the two
because
that
yeah, maybe he got a specific tattoo that I know of, and none of it was reported on the bodies, so I know he's not one of them.
How was your contact with your brother? Like, were you estranged for a long time, or did you just, chat regularly before this happened?
I think we were estranged from 10 years when I became an operative and had to cut ties with my family. And when I stopped being an operative and went into the reporter business and working in the undergrounds, I didn't get back to them.
Are you a former operative of TLA?
I can confirm or deny this information.
Could be interesting to find out. Any other questions?
Your long distance colleague, the one who sent you the article, is there more to know about that connection?
I think I never met him in person. It's just someone I came about on some dark web forums, maybe from the operative time. And he get me information. I double check them, but they almost always pan out. So his name is Dumas. That's the name he signed his emails.
His username, okay.
So you've always trusted Dumas then?
Yes.
Okay. Did he know about
But I
you?
know I know he surely has a motive because he bring me information, but it's never in the other side. I never ask him information about some stuff. It's always him that feeds me with stuff he wants me to look at.
So basically, it's always relevant to you, or he brings you something of interest that will become relevant to you?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Any other questions for Jensen? Okay. And Claudia. Claudia, for some reason, you've been seeing this particular town in your memory. You feel as if you've been making stories about this town for your entire writing life. Regardless of your memories, what makes you believe you've never set foot in Welcome before in your life?
I think it's because ever since I was about 12 years old, Welcome has been part of my life because my parents one day left me with my grandmother on the West Coast. Although no, we're saying we're being non-specific about, but left me with my grandmother and went on a trip and said they'd be back in a few days. And this was about, this would have been more than 15 years ago. So during Tal's time. And their car was found on the outskirts of a town called Welcome. And there had been 4 people seen in the car, and there were 2 bodies in the car, but it was not her parents. And she since has managed to gain access to their emails, and her mother received a few days before an email with no header that just simply said, "Welcome." And so she's always felt like this. She's like a blogger and in sort of urban legends and conspiracy theories and stuff like that. And this has always been part of her sort of lore. And now she dreams it, she writes it, and now she needs to find what the truth is. And now another car, 2 corpses, 4 people.
Is there any reason to believe it isn't the same car crash?
I think perhaps she managed to get hold of some autopsy photos of the 2 people in the car. And although, as we've heard, there's some weird injuries, nondescript, like we're undetermined, but they are not dissimilar from a description of like height and build and everything of her parents. The current pair of corpses are not dissimilar.
Oh. Okay.
Layers.
Therefore, the doubling is doubly alarming, and Claudia is very disturbed when she sees them.
Are you an only child?
I'm getting that sense, and I think Claudia lived with her grandmother up permanently after the disappearance of her parents, which we'll say, let's say, so she's 25, I said 13, so what is that like, roughly? Let's just make it even and say, like make her a bit younger and say 15, so it matches up with Tal, so 15 years ago.
Can you remind me what kind of writer is Claudia?
Well, I mean, she would call herself a web-based content creator, but as you see from her background, she was a grifter. So essentially, she's done any kind of work that paid writing copy of various degrees of accuracy or quality or legality.
I love that qualifier at the end, legality. Beautiful. Anything that pays. Probably some erotica thrown in there under a pen name. Who knows? Awesome. Any other questions? Any?
Is your grandma still around? Did you let her know you were going to Welcome?
I think potentially a certain amount of what I know about like what happened to my parents came from her, but then I think perhaps I didn't tell her about this latest thing because she would be alarmed at the level of like obsession that Claudia's maintained over the years.
Do you have any online contacts in Welcome or near Welcome that you might run into or seek out?
Good
And would one of them be
question.
called Dumas?
You know what?
Right,
Actually, no, that's too easy. And I have influence as one of my skills. Let's say I too have been contacted by a very helpful, heavily anonymized person called Dumas.
Amazing.
What was the piece you wrote that gathered the most sorry, I didn't contrariety? I'm starting to the most heated conversations.
Well, as I said, some of it's just like weird, like urban legends, and there's one that she wrote about spontaneous saponification, about like bodies in a graveyard all turning to soap. Probably not true, but it made it got around because it was one of those kind of weird, weird atlas type articles.
Oh God! Now the rats in my head are starting to run over that story. Damn. Okay. Any other questions? No. Okay. Viral. Oh God. Guys are fantastic. Oh my God. And finally, we come to a place where we can definitely take a break. Holy shit. I definitely need to take a break for this one. So we've gotten a lot of questions in our prologue, some answers, but just seems to bring on a lot more questions. So we'll see how this goes as we play to find out. So again, Trophy Gold runs with sets within the incursion itself, and each set has a set goal usually. Okay, it'll be running a little bit differently since the set goals aren't necessarily straightforward in terms of like you must find treasure, you must do this, that, and the other thing, or what have you. So in general, Trophy Gold, it's like you're trying to find treasure or something like that to meet your burdens, because you're assumed that like all the stuff that you have for combat, like your weapons and armor, are you were paid for by somebody else, and so therefore you're kind of in debt when you go on whatever adventure that you're on, and you are seeking gold to pay that off. So if you try to leave the incursion before paying off your burdens, then you're essentially retiring your character because the character's thrown into debtor's jail. This works a little bit differently because obviously the setting's way different. So you will still need to find things. You will still need to find out information, get details and such. And the way you do that in Trophy Gold is to do hunt rolls. So hunt rolls are made, and if you're following along with the reference sheet, you press ever deeper in pursuit of a specific and immediate goal. Describe how you are exploring your environment. So you are going to be gathering some dice to explore the world by asking me questions about it. And then you're also going to be building the dice pool by also showing how you are exploring and how you have a skill or a piece of equipment to help you with that exploration. Okay, so again, this is why you have like stuff in your backpack, or you have skills associated with your occupations and background. So you would tell me how you want to explore the world, and you explore the world by doing hunt rolls. Depending on how well your hunt roll goes, you either find something which comes out in the form of a token, and you can trade in that token. So generally it would normally be gold, but in this case it would be in the form of either details or information, depending on how good the hunt roll is. Your treasure will be something towards getting more information, or more something towards something that will help you out in the end for the end game of this particular incursion, like a particular item that could be very helpful later on for the festival, even, and something like that. But again, the way you find things out about the world is by doing hunt rolls. And sometimes the hunt rolls could lead you astray and, like, have something terrible happen, in which case we find out what that means in terms of either you performing something risky, in which case those of us that do Trophy Dark, we know how risk rolls work. So we'll build those rolls as they go along. And then in Trophy Gold, you can combat things, you can fight things. And those are run differently than, of course, Dark. So we'll go through each of these roles as they come up, if they come up as they will, okay? We'll just continue onward with the playthrough, okay? So the first set is called The Square. Let's assume that each of your characters have made their way to Welcome in some way, shape, or form. And I'd be curious to know what that is as we transition into the first set, which is the Square of Welcome itself. Okay? So, to establish each of the characters, what are you wearing? And how are you getting there, per se? Knowing that this is an out-of-the-way town, you've gotten the information from your sources, from articles, you've been there before, right? Or like, how are you presenting yourself when you go in? Are you taking a car? Are you taking public transport? Maybe there's a broken down bus that's goes into Welcome like on a somewhat regular basis. Tell me what you look like and how you're getting there.
I think Cole is just like wearing, normal jeans and t-shirts. He's carrying one of those backpacks, those very big ones, because he's planning to stay for a while, but he doesn't want to take a large, suitcase or anything like that. He probably took a bus there, but the bus doesn't go all the way to Welcome. He just spoke with the bus driver to stop like in a specific point, and then he hiked the rest of the way to the town. I think that's what he did.
I imagine Tal takes a motorcycle. I think he probably had it like hitched to a train to some point and then, did the rest of the drive on the motorcycle up there. He's wearing like a dark pack leather suit pants. He's got a suit jacket, a white collared shirt, tactical gloves on. His hands are never bare. He's got a motorcycle helmet on, a very sleek all black. Maybe a couple of forest green lines across of it. It's not all black. There's a little bit of like texturized line design on it.
So,
think-
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you. I think Jensen went to Welcome with a car. Not his own, because he doesn't own any car. He just get a car where he can when he need to. He know how to rig a car since his operative days, and when he needs a car, he just get one.
Love that. Raven, so Raven flew in to whatever the nearby airport is and took a taxi to Aunt Claudia's house. And so when we see Raven walking into the square, she's coming from the house. So she's wearing a black turtleneck, black jeans, kind of a suede jacket, vest kind of thing over on top of all of that. And it's just, and some what do you call those? Like low boots. They're boots, but they're not like they're not they're not like Claudia's combat boots. And yeah, so she's just kind of strolling into the square.
I think at the sort of gas station at the outskirts of town, a big rig, you hear the hiss of the air brakes as a big rig slows down and stops at the pumps, the diesel pumps, and the driver, gets out and goes in to buy like snacks and pay for his petrol. And we see the back, like of it's got a big container on the back, the big, and it swings open, and we see Claudia just jump out of the back and sort of scamper across the forecourt, and along the side of the road. And she's wearing, the boots and the fatigues, and it's sort of all black and this big puffy parka, and her hair is kind of dyed purple at the moment, and she's wearing her shades, and she's sort of vaping as she walks along, listening to music, as she sort of lopes into town, like nonchalantly.
Wonderful. All right. So, your set goal for here, for those of you that don't already have some place necessarily to stay, like the artist, your goal is to find and secure shelter once you arrive in town. So, what you see when you get to the square is a cobblestone formation laid into the ground. It's differentiated by the marbled rock making up the square. In the middle is a dry fountain with the statue of a dancing maiden seemingly dumping her pail into the fountain's bowl. Surrounding the square are the motel, a diner, and a library. In between the buildings are archways leading deeper into the town itself, or alleys leading to dead ends. What do you sense, and this is for everyone, what do you sense that gives you the impression that the passerby or the unseen townfolk are watching you?
Cole just has this, kind of natural paranoia. And so when he looks around, he sees that people were just, looking at him and then they turn around really fast. So he knows that people are looking at him.
I think Tal took it out of their hands to make sure, like he drove up in kind of fast and loose, probably into an area that's meant to predominantly be like, hey, a bicycle or walking, like not a actual motorized motorcycle. And he sort of, he remembers kind of being that townfolk, and everyone knew was strange and everyone looked. So he's like, they're gonna look no matter what. I'm gonna give them something to look at.
Raven sees you, your classic Western situation where the curtains are waving and you know just little signs that people are peeking and taking a look and but not wanting to be seen in the seeing and the witnessing and the spying or whatever it is that they're doing. Um, but except, I think maybe there are children. Are there children? If there's what seem to be children, let's say, that are not quite as subtle about the staring.
I think on one of the corners of the town square, there's quite a tall sort of 19th century building with a big round loft window that kind of looks directly down on the square. And as Claudia sort of walks past and looks up, she just sees the glint of a figure, like a flash of movement as someone moves away from the window. And it's so quick, she almost thinks she imagined it, but there was definitely someone there watching.
I think there's more than someone watching. There is something watching. Jensen watch. He sees the cameras, and they are well disposed around the square to not leave any blind spot on the space.
Yeah, so you sense all this, or you spot some of this out of the periphery, out of the corner of your eye. Not sure. And some people make it more obvious than others. So, again, out of character, you can totally do some hunt rolls to get more information or to see what you can find out exploring more of the town, or at least more of this particular set, which is the square.
How does one make up a hunt roll, Mads?
Let's make a hunt roll. Would Tal like to do the honors and be the first?
Heck yeah.
All right, so describe how you are exploring your environment. All right, you're going to take a light die for asking questions about it, or asking a question about it. Okay. So what specific question do you want to ask? Like, what do you want to look at? Where do you want to go? That sort of thing. And then you're going to take a second light die if you have a skill or a piece of equipment that is helping you with this particular way that you're exploring. So, what do you got?
Yeah, I think he's looking around and he's looking to see if anyone looks particularly unnerved by the amount of like several strangers coming into town, even though it's festival time. Yeah, I think he'll roll with that. And I think the investigation skill might be helpful.
Correct. Okay. You can go for that. Sure. So that's 2 light die, and then you're just doing a hunt roll on the trophy dice roller if that's what you're using.
Awesome.
Hunt 2 light.
That encounters something terrible.
I love seeing these first. Love it. Okay. I gotta take pictures of these. Damn. All right. Wonderful. Okay. So. Well, I think right out of the gate, I think you're looking around, and then all of a sudden you feel somebody shaking, like almost out of nowhere. You feel someone shaking your arm, and you smell the distinct, like, sharp, acrid smell of some kind of alcohol as Eb Knoll. You might have recognized him from one of the last times that you were here. Eb Knoll, the town drunk, is going to basically say, you seem familiar. Is that you? Overborn, or is that you? Money? You got some booze money? I'm all kind of fresh out. I'm all dry.
Tal doesn't even bother to take, like he's just taken the helmet off. It's got his under his arm, and he looks at the man and looks him over for a minute, and like will reach down, pick a dollar out of like not like a dollar, but like a bill out of his wallet, and just drop it like in front of the man.
Oh, I mean, that's not even enough to get a sample. Come on, you got more
Oh no,
than
it's
that.
like it's like a tenner. It's like it's not like a dollar bill. It's not like it's a singular bill.
Got it. Yeah, and then just kind of gives you this look like, really, just not even gonna like do a person a favor. I might throw up on your shoes because it's like I'm like not able to bend over without feeling sick. Help me out.
He takes just several steps back so his shoes are not in the range of puke. There you go.
Yeah, thanks. But he's like, as he's getting the bill from you, he clasps your hand and he's not gonna let go.
So Tal's wearing these tactical gloves.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically, I'm sure tactical gloves don't work like this. But what if, just what if there was like a pressure points part of it that he could like press that could like, I don't know, like make a little something like sharp or buzz or just like,
Well, this is not a monster per se, but we can do this as a risky action to say it's like, oh, well, let's see if this actually works, okay? So now we go into a risk roll. Sure, let's do this then.
Like you don't want to grab me, sir. This is painful for you.
Yeah, okay. So, oh my god, it's too funny, damn funny. Okay, so risk roll. We know how this goes for anybody doing Trophy Dark. What do we think will go wrong? I'm asking everybody else. with Tal trying to do this. What do we think will go wrong?
I think he very loudly like screams blue murder and
Yeah.
like, it's like he's a starting me, that kind of thing.
Exactly. We'll scream bloody murder. I like that one. I think, hold on, let's see, what's the thing here? It's like, I think he'll call you out, and say, oh God, somebody else go, because I mean, like, I'm trying to formulate it so it goes against your drive, and
I
I have
think
to,
they malfunction and just give a very weak shock, and that makes him very angry.
yeah,
Like
that sounds good
becomes
too.
very violent because it was just enough to rile him up.
Yeah, that sounds good
So
too.
the weather is rainy, right?
It's cloudy. Like right now, it's cloudy.
It's cloudy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was rainy, I was thinking of an overcharge and maybe electrifying more people around.
That seems so collateral damage. I think that sounds like it's like something could be developed into a devil's bargain. We're not there yet, but like, it sounds like a great idea for later. Yeah, so
Thinking they might go the other way. So instead of shocking Eb Noel, they end up shocking Tal.
oh, yeah, I love that too. Oh man, I love that. Sure, why not? Okay, so let's gather some dice for risk roll, all right? So take a light die if this is something you are skilled at because of your occupation or your background, or you have useful equipment. You're using your tactical gloves, so you got that first light die. The dark die is from this is risking your mind or your body. He's not letting go, so there's a capacity for, being endangering your your health in some way. This guy's gonna, like, hurt you or just be like an utter pain in the ass. So could go either way. So definitely the dark die is there. Second light die is for accepting a devil's bargain to increase your odds of success for this to work. So if you accept a devil's bargain, which is always prefaced by no matter what, regardless of the results of the roll, this will always happen. What do we think? What do we want to offer for a good devil's bargain?
I have a good one. No matter what, he says something disturbing and lucid about your inheritance. Like, it's all been a bit incoherent, but all of a sudden he just says something that's like very clear and very, very alarming.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Okay.
No matter what, the gloves also hurt you.
Hurt Tal as well. Okay. All right. What else? Anybody else
No
want to?
matter what, Eb Noel is revealed to be something other than what you see initially.
No matter what, gloves are using the gloves this way makes them light up, glow, and you can't hide that.
Can't hide. Nice. Okay. Got plenty of great choices. I don't have anything to add because I think these are all wonderful.
Say these are too many good choices. Oh my
I
god.
know.
And
So
I
yeah.
can't. Yeah.
Lucid or disturbing about your inheritance. The gloves will glow and you can't hide them. The gloves will hurt you as well. And Ebnol will be revealed to be something else. So, and again, I offer it up because I am that kind of GM. I mean, you can take none and not get that second light die, or you can take some or one of those things. Or all.
Not all. That's a little light. But I think I'll do some hodgepodge, I think, of James and Space's options. I think there's like, something new, something.
So,
Yeah.
revealed about the inheritance and Ebnol to be revealed to be something else. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Alrighty. So, let's see how this goes. So, that's 2 light, 1 dark, please, to find out whether your gloves work.
Oops, I almost rolled 2 dark and 1 light. That would have been bad. Hey!
And it's higher than your ruin. So that is that a dark 6. All right. So tell us how this succeeds. You shock. I imagine that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to shock Mr. Knoll. But please tell me, because it's higher than your ruin, so your ruin goes up. Tell me how this gets you closer to the darkness and gets you further lost into the environment.
I think it's that paranoia starts to drift as he gets like the grab, and his initial response is, I must act with violence. Like, don't like this is just a drunk dude. Like, just be like, hey, let me go. No, his first stance is to use his agency detailed weapon on this drunkard. As it pulls him back to remembering being grabbed somewhat similarly in this town square before.
Yeah.
Kind of almost jars him out of his current like investigative an adult headspace into, oh no, this was a bad time I once had here. And yeah.
I think this is where, he gets thrown back by the shock of the gloves, and he gets thrown to the ground because of it, and then he just gives you this look of intense, like, he's sobered up, obviously. And I think you realize that as he sobers up, there's something that changes about his face. There's something that it looks like he's starting to sweat profusely, but it's not sweat, though. It's not just a gleam of, like, here's sweat from the shock or sweat from the effort. It's something as if moisture has just bloomed all over his skin, his face, his neck, his hands that have touched you. And then you realize that all over your gloves and your arm that he was grabbing you with, I mean, like, it's all of a sudden suddenly strangely damp. And he just looks at you and snarls, "Oh, you Briggs think you're so high and mighty. Oh, but you'll get what's coming to you. You'll get what's coming to you when we're all at the festival. And we all come to be judged." And then this is when he snatches up the tenor that you dropped, and he'll, like, stagger away again.
Carol just sort of looks disgusted and a little shell-shocked and is like shaking their arm out to get like the liquid off of them.
I think because of that, you have a condition now. Just trying to think what to call it. It sounds lame, but dampened. Dampened is your current condition. And as a reminder, conditions aren't mechanically affecting you, but they're to flavor your role play from here on out. Okay? What does anybody else want to do?
I think Cole is just looking for something like a hotel, a place to stay.
Yeah. You see that there's a the entrance to the motel, like, through one of the archways.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you have to pass through one of the archways first to get towards the motel. There's like a painted sign leading you down that way, and it's like each archway has some sort of, like, carved symbol on it. You can't quite tell what it is, but you have to pass through this archway first, and then some look very dark and dim, and then others, like, look a little bit more light, as if there's like some kind of like shafts of opening that let the sunlight through, even in this cloudy day. And then you can sort of see the sign of the motel, like, further in as you can go in further into the town.
Yeah, I think he's going to go through the arches and first take a look at what's carved in them.
Okay.
Try to get some better info, and then if nothing stops him, just go towards the motel.
Okay. Would you like to make a hunt roll at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. So again,
what about examination?
Okay. Yeah, I could totally take that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think the socks are the lucky token are going to help.
Oh,
Uh,
it's good that you have a skill. That's fine. Okay.
yeah,
Are you looking at something specific as you go through the archway? Are you,
trying to just see like what's carved in them, what's the
carved? Okay.
if there's anything written, any
Sure.
kind of.
Okay.
So remind me, is it going to be too light?
Too light. Too light on the hunt roll. Yes, please.
Okay. So
Oh,
yeah, I
there.
get a token,
Yep.
but I encounter something terrible.
God. Alrighty. All right. Let me give you a token, and at any point, you can trade in a token for
Mm.
anything that you find, right? So, but yeah. Oh gosh. Let's see. So yeah, go ahead and put one in your hunt token total
Okay.
there, and then again, you can trade it in for anything else, that like physical or whatever that you can get. But let's see what what you do encounter. Sorry. When you enter into this particular archway and then you look at, you try to hone in on like one of the carvings, it looks indistinct, and you think you can read it. You think it looks like writing or something like that. But then as you hone in, then you realize it's like, no, you can't read it. And the reason being is that it seems to get darker here in the archway itself. And when you look up where you thought the light was coming from, you see that the clouds on the horizon look like they're curling and dark and that they're ready to roll in. This place, this archway that you found yourself in, seems to absorb light and get darker the deeper that you go.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I think that will get him quite spooked, and he's going to just like power walk towards the motel.
Okay. Alrighty. I think I need you to make a ruin roll if you're spooked enough that it's disturbing to you. And as you're making this, power walk to the motel, I want to know. Well, actually, let's see what your ruin roll says first. I want to see whether you keep it together or if there's something else that pops up.
I keep it together.
Okay, good. So you do keep it together, and I want to know, even as it darkens here and the clouds roll overhead, what helps you? What helps you stay grounded so you don't let memory or the current circumstances knock you off balance?
I think it's just a bit of the medical training. I think of the, like there ought to be some kind of reason. There's just maybe the architecture here, or there's there's a storm coming, and that's why things got darker. He just like rationalizes why things got suddenly dark when he got close to the arch.
Perfect. All right. Yeah. I mean, and then once you get through the archway, it's almost as if, it hadn't been affected at all. You just concentrate on that motel sign and, head over there. So,
Just the architecture, nothing
just
spooky.
Nothing spooky, not at all. Jensen, what are you looking at? Where are you going? Or are
I'm
you following?
looking for the town bulletin board.
You're doing the what?
The town bulletin board. Maybe I'm pronouncing it not right. The bulletin board.
Oh, the bulletin board. Yes. Okay.
I'm looking for it, and if I can find it, I want to get a feel about the city, what's happening,
Sure.
what's maybe as short stories. former events and coming events.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I think, as you, let's see, how did you come in? You just got a car. All right, great. I think, maybe you see something that looks like a bulletin board, like it's maybe one of those big pillar type of things that's behind glass or what have you. So maybe you try to pull your car near it. I would like you to make a hunt roll to, just see if you can, like, not only just get near, but I mean also like just to make sure that it is what you think it is, right? So, like you're asking questions about it, like to find the town bulletin board. But what skill, piece of equipment? I mean, I guess you could say your car, the car.
I think maybe the reporting skill
Sure.
about
Yeah.
asking question.
Right. To basically be like, yeah, that's the thing I'm gonna find first because that's gonna give you information. Absolutely. So go ahead, make two light on the hunt roll, please.
And this is 3.
Wow, these rolls are great. Love trophy today. All right. Okay. Countering something terrible. Ugh. I think as you try to pull around to get a look at this board that you think is going to be the bulletin board, you hear coming from side and you're trying to avoid, um, possibly getting blindsided or what have you by it. You hear the distant blare coming quite quickly towards you. A bad theme music as an ice cream truck seems to be coming closer. This ice cream truck comes into view. Its ice cream van looks innocuous enough, and it seems to have it's white with like happy children surrounding a cartoon scoop on the side. But I think as it nears and like you hear this theme music like blaring, and it's like very screechy and discordant and all this kind of stuff in your ear, even with your possible closed windows and such. I think you're looking at this picture and it looks like the children are screaming with fear. And the scoop has a smile full of jagged teeth. First off, what do you think of that, seeing that?
I think I drive for too long without a stop, and my mind is making me see things I shouldn't see, and coming from my mind.
Is it
And
enough?
I need I need to rest.
Okay. But I mean, is it just, let's put it this way, is it disturbing enough for you to make a ruin roll? Or to try and keep it together?
Yeah, I think when I close my eyes and I open them back, is this still the same scene? Then yes, it starts to frighten me.
Yeah.
I'm accustomed to seeing kind of mirage when I'm on the borrowed sleep, but they vanished easily. And if this one isn't vanishing, that's a problem.
Yeah, you can hear it still. It's like if you're making this roundabout, like, around the bulletin board in the square, this van is almost like following your path, like behind you, because you can still hear the bad theme music blaring behind you. Sure. So yeah, if it's disturbing enough, you need to make a ruin roll, please.
It's a 1.
Amazing. I mean, you guys are just keeping it together. Okay, great. So what about this is just like, it's disturbing, but then you're also able to say, nope, keeping it together.
Does it follows me if I take my car and go park it away from where I was planning it to do?
If you go and park your car, it will like make the roundabout and then rounding out again, and then you just like, see it like, pass up the street and then disappear like in the outskirts again. like leaving its like bad theme music trailing behind it. I mean, it might make another pass. You don't know, but I mean, like, you got it.
But yeah, but I do that, and I catch it tunes, and even if it's not conscient on my part, but I will be wary about that tune.
Do you know what tune it is?
Maybe it's some lullaby from my childhood, but turned strange with a high-pitched bass sound systems of the truck.
Sure, absolutely. I once heard like bad Christmas music coming out of an ice cream truck, and it was horrendous. I'm like, what? I get you completely. All right. Yeah, let's get everybody else making some sort of hunt roll and see what what kind of weirdness they find in the middle of the square.
I'm actually wondering if Raven shouldn't be taking a ruin roll, because if Raven's in the square already, then she would have seen some of this,
Okay.
right, and heard the music.
Sure.
And when she was growing up, somebody, she doesn't remember who, told her to stay away from ice cream trucks because they're run by serial killers.
Amazing. Okay. All right. So if
So
you think
like
you want to pay, I mean,
underlying.
take a free ruin roll, I'm not arguing a thing. So go ahead.
Oh, here we
Here we
go.
go.
I'm at 2, aren't I?
Okay. All right. So it matches. So you do not
Okay. I'm at
raise. Yeah, you do not raise your ruin. But I do want to know, even after hearing and seeing all this weirdness, I mean, maybe you did catch what was on the side of the ice cream truck, or maybe you didn't, but you definitely did hear the ice cream truck music.
Yeah, so it was a momentary, like, little heart palpitation. But I think took a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
She's all right.
Okay. All
for
right.
now.
But yeah, you have come from Aunt Claudia's house, and then you're just kind of like taking in the square per
Yeah.
se, and like, are you looking for anything in particular? Are you catching like all these people that are here just as strange as you? Because there's a distinct look, obviously.
You mean of the out-of-towners?
Yeah, the out-of-towners. I mean, versus like the in-towners. I would like to know, like, what, like, we're gonna see like Claudia, like, and the purple hair and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, like, what makes it distinct for Raven?
Oh, I just realized. Anyway, um, what makes it distinct? Well, I think it's the people of Welcome, as far as Raven can tell, they kind of walk with a not sluggishness exactly, but kind of just like there's no particular reason to hurry. Kind of a lingeringness, if that makes it. That's not a word, but there's just kind of this. How do I say? Like there's not low energy. Basically, the townsfolk seem very low energy.
Got it.
Whereas it does seem kind of obvious who is not from here, or at least not, of here in this moment. Because you've got one person came in this car, another, I don't know, who else have I seen? I mean, and then there's this person that just ran past me, or sped walk past me, excuse me, towards what I believe to be the motel there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That
Dr. Hackett.
that was a little odd. I'm not quite sure what to make of that.
And then, like, you might have caught like some of the altercation, or maybe the end of the altercation with the fella in the motorcycle, on the motorcycle with the town drunk.
Yeah, I don't know how much of that I would have seen, yeah, but I definitely had a sense that something happened over yonder, so to speak. Like,
Over yonder.
something happened. I'm not sure what I can't really process, you know. enough
Sure.
to know what it was.
Yeah.
So I definitely want a break from traveling. I want a pause before I dive into looking through slash sorting my aunt's things in the house. And I need some food.
Okay.
Right. So I'm gonna head towards the diner.
Okay. I mean, again, you you see these archways with the different symbols on top of them, and
Yeah.
then they either look really dark or they look somewhat light, depending on how the light shafts within them. And then you see the one passageway that looks like it goes to the diner itself.
Okay. Well, let's head that way.
Okay.
Um, I
Um,
mean, I know there's got to be a place to eat in this town, so
yeah. So, just for funsies, because it's like let's have everybody make a hunt roll today. Find some shit. Go ahead and make a hunt roll. So let's see. You're asking questions like you're going looking for food, and then
perception maybe.
yep, that's
Okay.
perfect. All right, 2 light, please, on the hunt roll.
I get a token.
All right.
Look at that. Nothing terrible.
Holy crap. Alrighty.
Oh.
Don't worry, I'll give you trouble later.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
So put 1 under hunt token, and again, you can trade it at any point. You can trade in your hunt tokens at any point to for an item, something that you find specific, whatever. So that's perfectly fine. I also want to make a mention that in Trophy Gold, you can collect hunt tokens and not trade them in for anything, and so that's perfectly fine. And if you just want to get through a particular set, you can pool 3 hunt tokens between you all, or one person could just hand in like 3 hunt tokens and then say, I'm done. Like, the set's completed and resolved and whatever, and then you can just go on to the next one, whatever.
Mhm.
Does the
But
square specifically have a set goal, Matt?
yeah, it was to find shelter of some sort within the with the set. But I will say that if you get a particular roll that says you lose all your hunt tokens, if you have any hunt tokens collected and not redeemed for something, you lose all of them. So just a thought. Just keep that in mind. So I wanted to make a mention of that before we continued onward. Okay, so you get a hunt token. Okay, great. You can head to diner, no problem. I think one of the things that you do find on the way, like a detail on the way to the diner, Raven. Let me see. You have to pass by the statue of the Laughing Maiden that you saw in the middle of the square in the first place. Maybe one of the not so subtle staring townsfolk will kind of like just kind of like jut their chin over at the statue, and then we'll kind of be more what's the word? Not neighborly. What the hell? More forthcoming, and just say, "See that? That's the statue of the Laughing Maiden. It's something that said how the town was prosperous at one point. It said when her fountain runs again, so will the town's luck. Isn't that great?"
Isn't it? Can it just be turned back on?
Oh no, I don't know, some kind of weird curse or something like that. It was something that just, it's natural. It's like from a natural spring somewhere.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, I don't think it's happened for a while. So
all right. Well, thank you for enlightening me. I'm gonna head over to the diner. Do you want to come with?
oh, yeah, I mean, you knew?
Yes, I am.
Oh wait, you look like, oh, Claudia Claudia Frost?
You knew she was my aunt. You knew her?
Well, yeah, everybody knew Claudia. I mean, she she has that big house out out outside of town.
Yes, ma'am. That's why I'm here. She left me the house.
Oh, are you going to move? Are you going to move to Welcome?
No idea. Are you suggesting that that would be a good idea?
It's a big house.
Right. Fair enough.
I'm Irene, by the way.
Irene, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm Raven. Well, maybe you could tell me more about my aunt. Over pancakes.
Okay. And then, all right. So Raven makes a friend. Awesome. And then finally, sorry, Claudia, where are you in this mess?
I think before she arrived, Claudia was sent a message by the mysterious Dumas
Mm-hmm.
with the location of some kind of geocache in the town,
Okay.
and she's been following it, and her phone is like gradually homing in on something, and it's taking her sort of round the back of the motel.
Okay.
But
All right.
I don't know, but I think
Happy to give a hunt roll to find out if you find it or whatever. So that's cool.
I think my case would be self-doubt because it's paranoia. Like I have my taser ready in my other hand,
Sure.
and I'm like, I'm expecting this to somehow be really sketchy, but my curiosity is too great.
So okay, so hold on a second. I'm just like since we're leading into questions, and this is playtest free form. If you guys have questions for each other, I'm cool with that because I want to find out more about these characters. So Jensen trusts Dumas as his source, but I'm curious, does Claudia trust Dumas?
I don't think Claudia trusts anyone
Okay, all right,
ever.
yeah, yeah, interesting. Okay, well, I don't blame you for getting the taser ready. So too light on the hunt roll, please. Let's see what happens.
Oh, it's a 3. I was hoping something. I was hoping something sketchy would happen.
I guess. Oh God. Okay, so I think with the. Oh my God! Amazing! Amazing! You make it behind the motel. And you do see the clouds start to roll in. They curl in looking very, like, too quickly. Looking dark and dangerous as if there is a storm coming in. And you feel the dampness. You feel like all of a sudden, like as all the air around your body just seems to be cloyingly wet. But there's no drizzle, there's nothing to indicate that there's any rain or anything in the sky, you know, or coming down upon you. And I think instead of hearing the bad theme music as the ice cream bad theme music, you start to hear it as more chanting. You start to hear as if it's like chanting townsfolk. And the reason you think it's townsfolk is because you're following your phone and you're looking up and you start to see this vision of people in robes from a different time or place. And they're lifting offerings to a suddenly bright sky. It was dark and now it's brutally bright, as if the sun has nothing better to do than just burn in the sky. Bright blue and hot and dry and burning.
Given that Claudia has her phone in front of her, can I see them through the camera on my phone? Or only with my eyes?
I'm gonna say only with your eyes. What do you think of that? And is it disturbing enough to cause a ruin roll?
I mean, I think it is, but I think at the same time she's like muttering to herself, "It's fucking awesome. It's gonna be gold." And she gets out. Like, sorry, while the ruin roll is in effect, she's simultaneously writing in her notebook. Let me just I'll just do the ruin roll. I got a 1, so yeah, no. Basically, I'm like, it's gonna be fucking great. I fucking know it.
I'm kind of sorry that you got a 1, only because it's like if you got the if you got a high ruin roll, like this would have been spectacular. Ah, darn it. Okay.
I think she thinks it's like a mirage or a hallucination
Sure.
or something,
Sure.
but she doesn't care because it's gonna make like a 6 story. So
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
matter.
Regardless, whether it be like, true or not, it's gonna be a 6 story. Awesome. Amazing. All right. So, yeah, you like encounter that weirdness, and I don't think you find anything. I mean, like, you get near the place, but you hear the chanting of the townsfolk get louder, even though you don't find anything. And, once you get to the actual spot itself, it's like as if the vision just disappeared. But I think this is where the storm does come in as the vision disappears. Like, the storm rolls in and it just starts to rain and rain hard.
And
So,
I think Claudia's standing there in the rain, getting her B footage with camera, like of this ominous cloud sort of rolling in and all the fat raindrops falling, and it's pretty good bit of footage.
yeah. And I think that's how we close out of the set because, you know, basically like at least one person has found shelter, like the motel, and then Raven has also found the diner, so I mean, like, has found like some shelter of a sort in that way. So, that has fulfilled the set. So with Trophy Gold, as far as I know, it's like I think at least one person fulfills the set, then like everybody, we can say that the set is resolved. So that is completed for that particular part. And then we can establish where you want to go for the next particular section. Whether you've already picked out the next place that you want to go, or if you want to establish where your character will be for the next session, that's perfectly fine. Okay. And we can do that offline. It doesn't have to be like right now. Go into stars and wishes. So if you don't remember how this works, stars are things that you liked about the session, roleplay, gameplay, each other, and wishes are things that you'd like to see for next time or in the future of the incursion. Okay, so there's a bit of ways to go, a few places to explore and find out about, because this is a wackadoodle town, I will say. So, and feedback, and like, I'm welcome for feedback. I mean, constructive or whatever, critical, just to give it to me, because I mean, again, this is a playtest, so let me know what you think. Yeah, whoever wants to start.
I'll give stars for the. I think the setting itself is really cool. I think the adapting Trophy to this modern day creepy town was a really cool idea. So yeah, that definitely stars for that. And I also liked how everyone created their backstories with the questions. I think no one knew about the questions beforehand, and yet like the creeping out, the TLA, all of that was like I really liked it.
Yeah, agreed. I definitely love that there is such um that there's both this kind of richness to this world, even in the few like moments that we've seen, and also plenty of room for us to literally just make shit up, right? And tell this story together. And I love that this system is really seems really great for setting that up. And Mads, you are just magic. I really enjoy how you hold the space with us and seeing your joy when we, you know, stumble across terrible things. It's just, oh, it gives me chills. I just love it. And yeah, so I look forward to seeing what we come up with in the next sessions.
Stars for the prologue. I find them very cool. The way you put every character in the story and linked to welcome and linked to other characters too. And stars to everyone for the loaded questions you gave everyone and the answers we all made to these questions. And wishes yes, the town starts to get creepy, and can't wait to find out more about this town and this evil ice cream truck.
Yeah, thanks for indulging my love of weird ice cream trucks, Mads. We don't really have them here. They're more like ice cream stalls, like rock ones on wheels. But I miss from Australia like creepy music. Yeah, I really like this. I like the kind of you've got that kind of folk town horror weird town thing, like really front loaded, and like I always love, yeah, like your enjoyment of when things go wrong and all of your great characterizations. And yeah, I felt like the prologues was it was a really nice way to get into it. I have one suggestion, maybe that it might work if you intersperse the question with the arrival scene, so
Okay.
you have immediate, maybe it's a bit like kind of unseen or whatever, where it like goes, question, answer, person enters town, next person, smash them together, because then you have like a clean break and you can go straight into the first set.
Okay.
But maybe, I mean, you almost did that, but like maybe interleave them, like so we immediately see the character once we've had the introduction.
Sure.
But the general concept is like super effective, and I really liked it. And I'm just looking forward to seeing more, because this has got really strong vibes, and I love it.
And another suggestion, maybe I missed it, but I asked the questions about the weather on the square
Oh.
because you tell at first that the theme was rainy,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and in my mind it was raining, like pouring on us at the start, and that maybe having in the description of the set putting a focus on that.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense to me as well. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I meant to put in more, and there's actually more with moments, but sometimes I forget about including more of the moments when I'm doing description, like, when I'm trying to transition different things and into different character spotlight moments, and then I completely forgot about, like, what's the weather like, duh. So thank you for that, for sure. Yeah, and I also like was trying to think about how I wanted to establish the characters, so I mean, like, makes sense to try and like incorporate the prologue into their introduction, so I also will take that into consideration as well. Thank you. Kay, did you have any?
Yeah. First of all, yeah, I'm gonna bop off everywhere else because me say I love folk horror. It's probably my favorite horror genre, which I think is something you know. So this like hit all the good vibes and all like the bells and whistles, and I was like, yes, this is gonna be great. Like absolutely just indulging, loving all the little bits, and I was like, this is perfect. Um, I really liked space, how like it was like, okay, well, how are you arriving to town? Well, actually, no. Raven's been in town. She's at this, house already. Like that's like a really fun, mild inversion, but still makes total sense. It was like, oh, okay, I wasn't something I would expect. I liked hearing that. I thought that was very fun. We've got some really interesting characters. As someone who hasn't played much of Gold, I'm curious how or if there ever even is party like cohesion of some kind because we all have different objectives, but we're all here investigating. So I'm a little curious to see what that sort of look like. They all seem like interesting characters, but I'm like, okay, how do I get these people to sit at a table? Or is this game a game where I don't even do that? Like, is that not part of this game is to even try to like get everyone together at one point or something? So I'm curious to see sort of where that goes. Yeah, I thought the backstories and stuff were really rich. I thought it gave a lot of fun stuff. I like the line choices. Again, I think just really tasty choices of options. Like, oh, what is your desired reason to be here? Those were all phenomenal options. I like that you had like the specific intros. Like, okay, well, if you're an artist, this, and if you're an agent, this, and so that way, no matter what questions you answered beforehand, you were at least intrinsically tied to another part, which could theoretically bring you in with the others. Uh, yeah, those were all great. I could go on for hours, but we have limited time. So yeah, it was great. I can't wait to play more. I'm excited for all the shenanigans.
Yeah, all the shenanigans indeed. I mean, I totally appreciated. Holy cow, you guys just once you started doing your prologue questions. I mean, even the introduction to the characters themselves. I mean, very interesting takes on each of the occupations and backgrounds and how you were weaving that from just so little and into the prologue questions where everybody had like something to ask about how is this put into the world, and then you still managed to somehow like kind of track is like, is this the same organization as this one? And I'm like, oh my god, these are great. So I was so excited. I love it when you all can tie in with each other without me not having to nudge anybody. So thank you very much for doing that. I mean, I don't want to force it. I mean, if people don't want to be associated with each other, they don't have to be. And this is not a like, let's have everybody link arms and like, do like, party moves like all the time. No, this is not that kind of a game. I mean, you know me. I mean, like, I'm okay if like everybody goes off and does their own thing because, I just try to manage who goes where and like, what they encounter according to dice rolls. But if you want to discover things about each other by pairing up, grouping up, that's even better because then it's like, oh no, I mean, like, how does this affect my character? But then also, like, what do I know about you that could be like, wait a second, like, are we related? Or is like, are we working for the same organization, or are we at odds with each other? Could be interesting, dramatic stuff. Who knows? And this is what I love to find out. So thank you for making this such a rich first session. Oh my gosh, I'm totally floored. You guys are just giving me like all the bursting stars that I love. So absolutely. Yeah, I mean, good feedback, and oh man, I can't wait to find out. I can't wait to find out more about what you guys will discover in this particular town. So this is exploration, and if you find other things to help you understand towards your drive and also towards the festival to get you to that particular end game to see if you fulfill your drive. I don't know. I mean, like, again, this is going to be weird and wacky, and it's going to be using Trophy Gold rules, but not quite exactly like Trophy Gold per se, as you hunt down, you get gold, you get stuff. Not necessarily that exactly. You're getting details, you're getting lore, you're getting something that will lead you to something mysterious and weird, and oh my god, I'm hoping it'll turn out satisfactory for the end. That's all I hope. But hey, I mean, I never know what the story's going to look like until the end, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. So yeah, I hope you guys had a great time for the first first session, and I know some of you will be missing for some of the other sessions, as we go along. And like I said, like, we'll work out offline, like, where you want your character to be when your character comes back into the game and what they discover. And then, yeah, I mean, again, hopefully we culminate into whatever it turns out to be when it comes festival time. All right. So I'm excited to see what this is going to look like. All right. Thank you all so much for being here at my table. I can't wait to see what you make of this incursion, and we'll look forward to the next time that you're here. All right. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will see you next time. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye.